Welcome to Speed and Power, the only car show that's not just for people who are really into cars, but for the people who know nothing about cars or are just starting to get into it. I'm JoJo, and this is Curator.
What's up?
And we are not experts. We are just two idiots who really like talking about cars. So without further ado, let's get started.
Thank you for the wonderful, wonderful intro that you totally got on the first time, JoJo.
Yeah, first try. We got this.
Yep. All right, yeah, as JoJo said, welcome to Speed and Power. This week, we are going to be talking about modern Japanese cars. Now, normally on this show, we usually discuss older cars, even on, like, the advertising episode. We really only we didn't discuss anything that came out, like, relatively recently.
I mean, we had the Prius.
Okay, the Prius isn't relatively that was like in the 2000s.
Yeah.
That specific ad was like for the 2000s Prius, right? You know what?
Yeah.
I should take it back anyway because I'm the one who brought the Jag commercial into the mix.
Oh yeah, that piece of shit.
And I did talk about the GR line of what was it? Toyota's anime series Grip. Yeah. Yeah, which they've recently dropped a season 3 for anyone who's interested in that.
Nice.
Again, I'm a bit shelling out for Toyota, but we'll get into that more later. But yeah, so this week we're talking about modern cars. So each of us have brought a couple of cars to talk about this week. That's right, we're actually talking about cars again. On the car show. It's wild, I know.
Oh my gosh.
But what this will also be is a good, helpful hand for anyone who's interested in buying a modern sports car, right? Because we're gonna talk about what's available on the market now. So none of this, how much did it cost when it first came out stuff. It's how much does it cost when you buy it from the dealer. Ooh, that feels good to say.
Yeah.
Have you ever owned a newer car, JoJo?
Let's see. The cars I've had was a 93 Nissan 300ZX, a 96 Subaru SVX, and then I have a 91 Camaro RS. I couldn't go through the episode without bringing it up.
How's that going, by the way? We have to talk about the Camaro every time.
Yeah, it's not going. That's the problem.
We're gonna get to this point, right, where like the car will eventually be finished. And it's going to be like, we have to do a special episode of Speed and Power so you can take us on a tour of the working car.
Yeah, just the weekly update on the 91 Camaro RS, JoJo's project. I guess it's what we're going to call it now since it doesn't want to work any other time.
The Camaro is an interesting project car to have.
Yeah. We could dedicate an episode to everything that's gone wrong with that piece of shit.
True, yeah. For me...
Because that's how much stuff that's gone wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
For me, when it comes to my car history, I've had two. One which we will not speak about, because I've been asked to not talk about it. And the other one was a 2018 Toyota Yaris.
Nice.
As like a daily, which that has been friggin'. Honestly, I've had no issues with that one. That ride has never given me a single problem.
Yeah. The car that gave me the least problems was probably that 300ZX, and even it was shitty.
Yeah. I've had my share of problem cars in my limited time on this earth.
Yeah. It was a Z32 for anyone interested, by the way. It was nice.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't nice, but
I think my dad had one of those Zs. During the 90s, when it was new, and I remember the story distinctively because he tells me it every now and then, where my mother backed over it with her Toyota Highlander.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that's a story. There's more to it than that, but I'd rather no one know the context behind that. No,
it's funnier without context.
Yeah, no, it was not out of vengeance. If people are thinking that. In any case, All right, but let's actually get into the topic at
Yeah.
hand. One of the reasons I wanted to bring this up is because I am currently shopping for a brand new ride, and normally I don't shop, in like for newer cars, right? I usually go older, uh, in the spectrum, but there's a few that have caught my eye recently, and I think this will be a great opportunity for both me and for people who are interested in buying a newer car, to see what's out on the market today.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, which one of us wants to start?
Yeah, you can start it since I did the intro.
All right.
That's,
Oh, and by the end of this episode, we do plan on sharing, like, out of all the cars, both of us will list which one of these would we buy, right?
yeah.
Right. All right. So, I guess I'll go first by bringing up. What I mean, honestly, how can we do an episode about modern Japanese cars without bringing up the current era Nissan GTR?
That completely skipped my mind. I'm gonna be honest.
How do
Like
you
when I was making this list, it completely skipped my mind.
I mean, look, the current GTR has been around for a while.
Like 2015, 2016. if I
Yeah,
remember
it's
correctly.
it's been around for about 10 years now, and it's still being sold by Nissan. Actually, that's the thing.
Mhm.
I don't even know if they're making the 2025 R35. I only ever saw, while I was doing my research, I only ever saw listings for the 2024 model. So maybe they're ready to move on to the next vehicle, right? But
I
regardless,
hope it's an R36.
well, I hope it's not. For the distinct reason of Nissan. Um, the rumors are that the R36 is going to be electric, and I'm hoping.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm hoping
no.
it's not. Let's hope that's not the case. Keep it a V6 Nissan. Come on, you should know better.
Yeah.
But in any case, we're not here to talk about the rumors of what the R36 could be. We're here to talk about the current R35 GTR, which Nissan doesn't call the R35, but the rest of the friggin' world does.
We all know it's the R35.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty
come on.
much. So, why is the current era R35 GTR so good? Well, currently, it has a top speed of 205 miles per hour with a horsepower of 600, which is pretty friggin' good.
Damn.
Yeah, it goes from 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. And it's all-wheel drive because, look, if you're going to be that fast, you kind of have to be all-wheel drive. With a V6 twin turbo right under the hood.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know when they switched to a V6 because I remember...
I'm pretty sure it was the R35.
Was it the R35 this switch? Because I remember the previous generations were inline sixes. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so they switched to the V configuration, which works with the R35. And let's be real, this car is creme de la creme, right? If you're gonna buy a sports car today and you want like the best possible performance, it's the GTR, right?
Right.
Like back in the day of like what was the best of Japanese sports cars, it was always like the R34 or the Toyota Supra Mark IV, right? Whereas today it's practically an uncontested Nissan GTR is the best of
Right.
the best. And like here's the thing, like at a price of $121,000, which sounds like a lot, but compared to all the other crap that this like competes with, that's not that bad. That's actually no, it's way cheaper than like a Maserati or like a high luxury BMW.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, just buy a car instead of buying a house.
Yeah. No. Well, I feel like $100,000 isn't enough for a house.
No, I was saying for the other cars.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you can technically live in both. I mean,
The GTR is a pretty big car. Right. I mean, like, what? The history of the GTR is a tale as old as time. It is known as one of the best. It's basically Japan's version of a muscle car that destroys all other muscle cars. You think Hellcats are cool? Please. Friggin' the GTR is just the most intense vehicle I've really ever seen.
Trying to think. Personally, it's not my favorite of the newer JDM stuff.
Oh, it's not
but
my
that's just
favorite
my
either.
opinion.
It's not my favorite
Yeah.
either. But you have to acknowledge.
But you can't deny.
You can't deny
Yeah.
it is the best. Out of probably anything we're going to be listing today. Granted, there is a competitor to the GTR, which I do agree is a worthy combatant, but it's also the GTR. I mean, like, friggin', how I don't really know. Like, the R35 is just such an amazing vehicle. It's not my favorite at all, and honestly, my own personal philosophy when it comes to cars, quite frankly, combats the GTR. But
What do you mean?
well, we'll get to it when I bring up the car that I'm talking about, right?
Okay.
We'll get to the car that I'm referring to, but I do feel like we can't bring up a list of modern JDM without bringing up the R35.
Yeah, like I said, it completely skipped my mind earlier, though. I'm gonna be real.
I mean, again, I've said this before, and we'll say it again. The GTR is the best of the best if you want performance and power. And, you know what? We could say this.
Speed and power.
It is the best of the best if you want speed and power. Which is, yeah. I mean, like, come on. If anything, the GTR should probably be the logo for speed and power. But we went with the AE86 instead.
Which has neither.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, so I guess that's my first car of the day.
Okay. Pretty solid pick.
Yeah. What you got?
So I'm gonna do my cars out of order since you brought up a Nissan. I thought I'd bring up a Nissan.
Oh, I know what this one's gonna be.
The Nissan Z. I personally love the Z series.
Yeah.
They look fantastic, and like I said, I owned a 93 300 ZX. But the new Z, it reminds me a lot of the old 240s and like the old, 280s, whatever, from the Datsun era of Nissan. And I just think it looks phenomenal. It may not be, actually no, $42,970. That's a lot cheaper than the GTR.
Oh no, yeah. Let's be very clear. The Nissan is not the GTR, right?
Yeah.
To be very fair to all the other, because I know what we're gonna bring up. All the other cars on this list, they are meant for very different markets than the GTR, right? The GTR is a touring car. The rest of these are not touring cars. They're just sports cars.
Yeah.
So,
which I love sports cars. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I prefer any of the other ones on the list over the GTR personally. But the Z's a pretty good choice.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with the Z personally. It has you can get it with a 6-speed manual or a 9-speed automatic, which I think is pretty good, especially since we're moving away from manual transmissions at this day and age. Seeing it kept alive is very nice to see.
Yeah, manual transmission all the way. We are strong fighters in the resistance for manual transmission.
I vaguely know how to drive one. Thumbs up.
Isn't your Camaro manual?
No, my Camaro's automatic.
Oh my god. Well, that's the next step.
No, but my
transmission swap.
My Z32 was a manual transmission. There we go.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So I vaguely know how to drive a 5-speed.
Yeah, my Yaris was a manual, so
nice.
Yeah.
But this thing is a 3-liter V6, rear wheel drive. You know, which a rear-wheel drive sports car is phenomenal.
Doesn't it have a turbo?
Yeah, it's a 3-liter V6 twin-turbo engine, I believe.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Now you're probably thinking, hey, that's the same engine the GTR has. No, it is not. No, it is not.
Yeah, just because it's
just because they're V6s and they have twin turbos, they are nowhere near the same.
not the same engine. Because this engine only produces like 400 to 420 horsepower.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So like nowhere near the GTR's like 600 horsepower. I know we keep comparing it, but it's also like the same company, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it though. I'm not the biggest fan of the look of this car.
Really?
Now,
I personally love it.
Granted. I think it fits very well with what exists today, right? It matches up very well with all with the GTR and like all the other cars we're gonna mention. I think if you put them all in the lineup, yeah, these are Japanese cars and they all look fantastic together. But out of all of the ones that we have, I think this is the. I don't know what it is about it. There's something about this ride that I just can't wrap my head around. It might be because it comes in yellow as like one of their big colors, and I don't like the yellow that much.
I love that yellow color personally.
Really? Okay.
I think this is the best looking car on this, out of the ones I picked.
Right.
I can't say for yours.
Right, of course. Yeah. No.
But yeah. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
It can reach 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds.
That's
just under 4 seconds.
That is impressive, I will say.
Yeah. But it is electronically limited to 155 miles per hour.
Which, we have to kind of mention that because that's how you're going to buy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, you're allowed to tune these cars to your will. Legally speaking,
only go that fast on a drag strip.
Yeah, please drive safe on the road. Maybe we should put a disclaimer. Please drive safe on the roads.
Yeah.
Oh my king, we allegedly don't follow that example. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. No, like for me, the few issues I have with the Z are I'm not the biggest fan of the interior because I know it's like a lot of screens and panels in it. And I don't like that price tag. I think $42,000 for this is too much. Especially considering some of the alternatives at a lower price.
What do you mean?
We'll get to them, right? Well, actually, that'll probably be the next one I bring up. One of those options. But I do feel as if I do think this is a bit too expensive for what Nissan's trying to sell it for.
Surprisingly, it's the cheapest car on my list.
Wait, really? That's the cheapest one?
Yeah, that's the cheapest one.
One of those on that list should not be more expensive than this thing.
I know.
We both know which one
you're thinking about too. Yeah. But surprisingly, no, it's more expensive than the Z.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to tell us about the Nissan Z?
Let's see. It's a 2-seater, and I think there's one more thing.
Aren't all these cars legally 2-seaters? Well, no, not legally. Some of them are legally 4-seaters.
Yeah.
But like, in reality, they just have like the 2 shitty seats in the back for insurance purposes.
Well, one of my cars is a 4-door.
Oh, yeah,
I will say.
True, it is a 4-door. I forgot.
Yeah.
Does it come with a 2-door? No, we'll get to it. We'll get to that when we.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that when we get to it. All right.
But the miles per gallon isn't exactly what you'd want to see in a new car.
Oh God,
it's 19 city and 28 highway, which isn't horrible.
Yeah, It's not bad, but for like it's a gulper though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
I
All right, but yeah, that's
see that though.
that's pretty much all I have to say about the Z.
Yeah.
I love that car. It's probably my favorite on my list.
I like the Z's a lot. Another thing I don't like is Nissan just called it the Nissan Z instead of like the 400Z or the 390.
That is one of my main complaints.
That is just
about it.
something car companies do in general that I don't like. Like keep the legacy of what you're naming your cars going, because like, everyone calls this thing either the 400 or the 390, right?
Yeah.
Personally, I prefer 390 because I don't think we're at that point where we can make the leap over to the 400 yet.
I've always called it the 400 personally.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of differing opinions on this car, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, then again, I'm not really a Nissan guy. That's the other thing. I like the 240. Let me be very clear. I love the 240Z. I've explained this on the episode of Best Cars Ever Made. I love that car.
Yeah.
But this is not that car. And I'm just not the biggest fan of modern Nissan, right? I respect the hell out of the GTR, as we've explained.
Yeah.
Right, but I would never see myself owning a Nissan in my lifetime, I think. Which is
They're pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, they're cool. I'm not gonna doubt that, but I wouldn't own one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for the Nissan Z.
Okay. So.
One more thing, actually. Sorry.
Hit me.
This is a 2024 Nissan Z. I couldn't find one for the 2025.
That's fair.
So
they're definitely still making it. I mean, like, come on. Yeah. Like, as long as it's made within like the last year, you're good.
Okay.
To which now, we're gonna get into my number two. Granted, none of these are in any particular order for me.
Yeah.
But I feel like the one I should probably mention now is what I think is a better price for a car that I think is just kind of better than the Z. I now want to mention the Toyota GR Corolla, which, admittedly, this is not the prettiest car on the planet. And it's the only hatchback on this list. Wait, actually, it might not be the only hatchback. I think there's another one that you have.
I almost mentioned the GR Corolla. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, but
in my list.
I really like the GR Corolla. And the reason why I think this is a better, I think it's better for you to get this than the Z. The reason why is just because the price. It's 38 grand for one of these. So for $4 grand less, you're getting a GR Corolla with that Toyota reliability just slapped right on top of it, right? So like the fact that it's a Toyota is a selling point for this thing,
right?
But it also has 300 horsepower, and it has an electronic limited top speed of 143 miles per hour. Yeah. And it goes from 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds, which I know is a bit slower than the Z, but it is an all-wheel drive car. Something Toyota just doesn't do very often. And it's a 3-cylinder engine.
Oh wow!
Which
I've only really seen production models of like the 4-cylinder is like the lowest I've seen.
Oh no, dude, the 3-cylinder one is insane. That's the faster one, I'm pretty sure.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, Toyota overbuilt this thing. It's one of the best rally cars in the world, as well. Just as an additional bonus. So it's kind of the ugly duckling of the group of cars we have. It absolutely is. But I just think it's something interesting, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't like, the way it looks is even like, I like it personally.
Yeah, it's a bit funky, but I like it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like a practical car to use as well. Like it's a hatchback, it's a 4-door. It works for everyday use. Well, that's the thing about Toyotas. They're designed to be dailies, all of them, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you could realistically daily the Z or the GTR, right? But this, I think, out of all the cars, actually no, the one of the ones you have, which I feel like you have to bring up next, because we keep referring to it.
Yeah.
This one and that are really good daily drivers.
For sure.
Absolutely. And I really like. Granted, I am a Toyota fan. I will always be mainly interested in Toyotas. So,
which is understandable. I mean,
yeah.
Toyota's like one of the best out there.
Oh, absolutely. If not the best, just because of their reliability.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, sure, their cars aren't the fastest in the that we have, but like they'll last forever. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, for like a 3-cylinder, I think it has a turbo. I'm not even sure if it has a turbo or not. I probably should have checked that.
I can check that real quick.
Yeah, please do. I also love the color options it comes in. Like, there's a blue for the GR Corolla that looks really good with it. And I'm personally not a big fan of blue, but does it look good in blue?
Yeah, turbocharged 1.63 cylinder engine.
Okay, so it is turbocharged, right? So
nice.
The Corolla is basically the definition of a sleeper car. It doesn't look like much, but it could destroy 90% of what's out on the road today.
Right.
You ever see some douchebag in a BMW, which we haven't brought up BMW a lot on this show, but my personal feelings are I don't care for BMWs. I think they're fine, but I think the culture surrounding them and the people who drive them are kind of douchebags.
And the repair cost.
Oh, the repair cost is awful.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
Yeah. Like, I get it. Not all BMW drivers are assholes. But the ones I know are. So, yeah. This is just for personal really experience.
Go off of.
Granted, my dad did just buy a new BMW.
Yeah. Sorry, Curator's dad.
Don't be. I'm sorry, I'm not calling you an asshole, Dad. Although, kinda. Anyway.
Although, kinda goes wild.
It's fine. Let's not think about it too hard. But yeah, I guess that's all I really need to say about the GR Corolla. For like $38,000, it's a pretty good deal you're getting. 300 horsepower. So, like, I honestly. What was the top speed of the Z again?
155 electronic limited.
Okay, honestly, if you tuned these up, I think that'd be for a really good matchup. Yeah, absolutely. That being said, I think that's all I have to say for the GR Corolla. So I feel like now you have to bring up what could compete with the GR Corolla.
Yeah, this car is admittedly kind of ass comparatively.
Yeah, but like
I'm gonna be real.
It's awesome though. I love this car that you're about to bring up.
Yeah, it's a good car. It's just not GR Corolla level. It's the 2025 Honda Civic Type R.
For the record, I want to start this off. I love the Type R. I absolutely adore the Honda Type R. I think it's great.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I saw one at work a few days ago, and it was fantastic. But no, it is, let's see, that one was 38, right?
Yeah.
1,000. So 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. God. So that's $7,000 more expensive.
It's $45,000?
$45,895. So it's almost 46.
Okay.
Right?
That is insane for what Honda's charging for that thing.
Yeah, it has 15 more horsepower than the GR Corolla. So that's fun.
Yeah.
0 to 60 in 5 seconds.
Wow. Actually,
Yeah.
that is pretty good.
And it only comes in, yeah. It does only come in a 6-speed manual.
But that's a bonus.
Which is yeah.
If you want
it's like
Honda
a commuter
Civic,
car.
If you want a Honda Civic with an automatic, just get a Honda Civic. Don't get a Type R.
Yeah, that's honestly, yeah.
The Type R
is wanting just a Civic. The Type R is for performance,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
It's for, being cool.
It's a race car. That's what the Type R is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 4-seater too, so you can bring your friends on a race. Why not?
Yeah, bring your friends, bring your family, bring your 3-year-old child to the racetrack. It's great.
I actually got to go down a drag strip when I was like 4.
Nice.
It was fantastic.
That's awesome.
But no, it has a 2-liter 4-cylinder. Let's see. It's a turbocharged VTEC 2-liter. So that it has that going for it.
Yeah, but that engine lifespan ain't gonna be long on that thing.
I don't know.
The VTEC already puts the strain on the engine. With an additional turbo, it's a bit much.
It is a bit much.
I do love it, though. I do love it. Not to mention, it's a friggin'
so cool.
Honda. So those things, even though they're still built pretty well, and like I'm sure warranty will cover any damages the engine does to itself, right?
Yeah. I don't have the warranty specs on this.
No one has the warranty specs for anything. If you want the warranty specs,
I did on the other car.
Buy the car.
Yeah. But 315 not miles an hour, Jesus Christ. 315 horsepower isn't bad for what it is, right?
No, but like
it's a front wheel drive.
Yeah. Like the advantage of the
typical Honda
Civic
fashion
is that it's front wheel drive. Right? And I feel like what we're neglecting to mention with the Civic Type R is the fact that you put a computer in that thing and start tuning the ECU, you can get some insane numbers out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Hondas with laptops are scary.
Oh, absolutely. Let's be very clear. The Type R, while spec-wise is probably less than most cars, Honda wants you to tune it. And it'll be faster than than probably everything we mention.
Yeah.
If you can really handle it.
And I'm not seeing anything about an electronic limited speed or whatever. You got that going for it.
Yeah, true.
It has a top speed of 169, so that's pretty nice. So yeah, and it has triple exhaust output.
Fancy.
So that's pretty cool as well.
Again, I think the biggest negative about the Civic is the price. But knowing what it can knowing what it can do, is what really makes it sell. I think. Not to mention, it's a Type R. People love the Type Rs.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to know something funny I just found on my sheet?
Hit me.
The warranty.
What's the warranty?
3-year, 36,000 mile basic warranty, and then 5-year, 600,000 or not 600,000, 60,000 powertrain.
I feel like 60,000 for 5 years is low for a Type R. Like they're expecting you to drive that thing.
Yeah.
But
they're
what can you really do? Unless you buy the fucking, what is it, the e-scooter that Honda makes, the Moto Compacto.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
Is that the one that looks like a briefcase?
Yes, it's the one that transforms. It's the world's shittiest transformer, but I love the thing.
It's so cool.
Like, you could just go to a Honda dealership. If you give them $1,000, they'll just give you a fucking e-scooter, and you can just take it away. I love that they sell those at dealerships. It's awesome.
Do they really?
Yeah. There's one in my local dealership, like, 20 minutes away from my house? And it's like, they sell the e-scooter. It's like, I want to go there and just spend $1,000 to buy it. That's such a fun purchase.
Screw a new car. You need to get the e-scooter.
Yeah, spend $1,000. on the Honda
It's
Moto
way cheaper.
Compactor.
Yeah.
It only goes like 15 miles per hour.
That's fine.
You could beat a
can run
GTR
on
with that speed.
road. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The e-scooter's like fucking designed to be a last resort mode of transportation.
Mm-hmm.
I would use it for dicking around in a parking lot. Come on. It's an e-scooter.
Just go up to the office.
I'd slap a Decepticon sticker right on the side of the damn thing and just be like, robots in disguise. Right. I love the stupid e-scooter. I think it's great. I think
Catch me in the back of work doing donuts.
I feel like we need to do an entire episode of the Speed and Power of weird shit car companies make.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like outside of cars. Like they do other stuff, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
But is there anything else you wanted to mention about the Civic?
Let me check. No, I think that's pretty much it.
Great. That will be the leeway into the next segment, the news. Welcome to the news segment, everyone. The part of the show where we talk about modern car news that everyone should probably know about. The first thing that I think is important for people to know for this week is the toll road scam. So as we all know, we all get those text messages on our phone that tell us, hey, you haven't paid your bill for passing through this toll booth. Please go to this number here. Please do not click the link. The toll companies will not send you a message on your phone saying that you owe them money. It's quite simple. Actually, I doubt the government even sends you texts.
Yeah, I just looked at my text messages and I got one Monday.
Yeah. So these are pretty common. It's not like newsworthy, but I feel like it's important for people to really know. Just don't click on those links. The government will probably send you like a letter or something. They're not going to send you an informal text telling you. You're not going to get a text from the Secretary of Defense like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, I doubt that's going to happen. So
you're definitely not going to get one with wishing you a sunny day filled with happiness, with a sun sign emoji right at the beginning of it.
Did you?
Because that's what's on mine right now. Yeah, I'll send you a screenshot of it. You can put this in the episode.
I'm absolutely putting that in the episode. That's amazing. Holy crap!
It's fantastic.
They really sent you like wow, this is wild. Yeah. If the government's being friendly toward you, that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is just something special.
Yeah, let me send this over real quick. It's so funny.
Oh, I love that. I love that they sent that. Yeah, you see that's not the government. Do not click on any link that tells you to pay them money. If the government wants money from you, they will send you a formal letter, and that's pretty much it. To your house of residence, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Not just to your workplace or something like that.
Yeah, they're not going to text you. They're probably not going to email you on your work or school email. So, I think you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to the next bit of news. Lyft. Yeah, I bet you didn't expect me to be talking about Lyft today.
I didn't.
Lyft is set to roll out robo-taxis in Atlanta. So what they're doing is they're getting like self-driving cars to lift people. My guess is to cut down on worker costs.
That makes sense.
Which, it made sense to cut down costs. What doesn't make sense is the fact that Lyft is doing it. Because isn't the whole point of the service to have like an extra job for people to do, on the side? Why have robo-taxis? What is the point?
There really isn't one.
You've given people zero incentive to actually become Lyft drivers.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you're just trying to replace your entire company, which is like, well, thanks, congratulations. You just gave all your business to Uber. You idiot.
Yeah.
So they're going to start in Atlanta. Again, I think it's ridiculous. I think self-driving cars are a bad idea. Uh, I think they're fine for like certain circumstances. Like, I don't know, let's say someone with a DUI history gets their steering wheel removed, and you have to be self-driven to specific places at specific times. You better catch the car, right? I feel like that's fine, but like for the average everyday person to just have a self-driving car, please don't. Please just own up and deal with the fact that you have to drive from point A to point B sometimes. It's not that hard, people. Everyone else does it. Please just conform with the times. Stop doing robo-taxi bullshit. Finally, for the last piece of news for this week, I feel like we actually talked about this before we started the show.
Yeah.
Apparently, people are fucking firebombing Tesla dealerships, which is wild. And no, do not cheer for that. That is not a good thing. What that is called is domestic terrorism. Now listen, I get people don't like Elon Musk. This is not a political show, right? I'm not going to sit here and say, I love Elon Musk. You shouldn't be disrespectful. No, that's not what this is. What this is stop destroying people's public property. Please stop. Not public. Stop destroying people's property. That's all this is, right? What you've done is caused vandalism. Now, this whole thing started because people were trying to boycott Tesla, which is fine. That is called a peaceful protest. Do not buy a product from someone you don't like. That is good. That is how this should be handled. And then with these
they took the peaceful out.
Right, but there's psychopaths who just think, oh, I don't like this person, I'm gonna blow up a car, because that's a reasonable response. It is not. To make it very clear, we at Speed and Power do not condone the inciting of violence in any way. Right? Yeah. We will make jokes about destroying Geo Metros and stuff, but the difference with that is we're threatening to buy the Geo Metros and then destroy them. Not just go up to some random person's car and destroy it. That's insane. Please do not do that. Do not condone these actions. Have a peaceful protest. Please have a peaceful protest. That is all we ask. Not just for this. It's not because we're protecting the corporate ne'er-do-wells. No, we're protecting people in general from this. Right? Do you know what happens when an electric car gets set on fire?
Bad things.
Very, very bad things. It's called an electrical fire, which you can't just put out with a hose. You gotta let that burn. And laying up Tesla dealerships, God knows that's not a good idea. Don't do that. Seriously, don't. Do not destroy just any random Cybertruck you see, because guess what? That is people's property. You're not affecting Elon Musk by destroying their car. You're affecting the person who owns the vehicle or the people who work at the dealership, who are just there to do a job or to get from A to B. God, why? It's so wild that people think that that's acceptable.
It's not. Just to make that abundantly clear, it is not acceptable.
You don't see us throwing Molotovs at Geo Metros just because we don't like the car. We don't like the car, but if it's not our property, we're not going to destroy it. It's that simple. I don't even like the people who own like a souped up car that I don't like. I'm not going to go up to them and tell them, hey, I think your car's shit. Much less set it on fire.
Because you also got to take into account that these people might have families that you're affecting too. That could be their only mode of transportation.
Oh, no,
to get back and forth from places.
Like, granted, Tesla is like a nicer car brand. We both know this, right? But at the same time, you can't just blow out someone's car and expect them, they'll get another one. That's not that easy. Cars are a major expense that people are taking out of their lives. And when people just destroy them, that's a bad thing. Do not do that. That is a terrible thing for everyone. Please.
Not to mention, it could get you in serious trouble if you do these things.
It's called domestic terrorism for a reason. Don't do it. This isn't a political cry. This is public safety at hand here. Please stop before you hurt people. This is already affecting people, right? Just because someone owns a Tesla doesn't mean they're an enemy of the state to you, right? It's just they like the car, they bought the car. That's that simple. If you don't like the car, don't buy the car. If you don't like the things the company stands for, don't buy the car. It's that simple. You do not need to destroy other people's property. I know we shit on electric cars, but we're not gonna blow them up.
Yeah, it's dangerous,
right?
And just it's not smart.
It's one thing if you're talking about it. It's another thing if you actually go out and do it. So please do not incite violence in any way about this. Do not encourage people to do this, right? For the safety of others around you. I can't believe we have to say that. That seems insane that we have to say don't commit acts of terrorism, but don't commit acts of terrorism. It's quite simple. That's basic rule number 1 of living in a country. Don't.
It's bizarre we even have to talk about this.
I know, right? Like, I just thought this would be a fun little thing of, some Tesla got blown up by some sycophant. No, people are encouraging this. I saw this segment on Jimmy Kimmel, which I hate Jimmy Kimmel. I think he's kind of a scumbag, right? Then again, any late night host that isn't Conan O'Brien, I think, is a scumbag. Granted, I'm from Boston, so I have an automatic bias to that anyway. But like, when Jimmy Kimmel mentioned this, his entire audience cheered at it, and it's like, no, don't cheer. I get you don't like the guy, but again, to reiterate this point, you cannot go out and just blow up cars. It's wild.
It's beyond wild.
Yeah. So please, we have to say this one last time before we end this segment. Do not go out and blow up a car. Have a peaceful protest for people you do not like. It's okay to disagree and not like something. It's not okay to go out and commit a crime.
Yeah, 100%.
It's crazy that we have to say that.
Yeah.
But we have said it. That is all we'll say about this topic. We're not going to be political about it because, like, there is no politics behind it. Right? We don't like being political on this show. We'll never be political on this show.
Right.
Right? Unless it's ban all French cars, which I will agree with. But listen, it's just this just feels like it crosses a line that we have to bring up. But that is the news segment, everyone, and let's go back to our regularly scheduled episode of Speed and Power. All right, welcome back from our segment of the news. So, where we left off was with the Honda Civic Type R, right, JoJo?
Yeah.
Now, I feel like now's the perfect opportunity to mention my favorite car on this list that I brought up. Now, granted, I do have another one, and if we have enough time, we'll go into that last one I have. But I think the car we really should be highlighting out of all this is Toyota's GR86. Or, as it's commonly known as, the 8 Sits. This car perfectly represents my philosophy when it comes to cars. You don't need a lot of power to have fun. It perfectly encapsulates this. And I think, actually, no, it's not. It's out of all the cars we've mentioned so far, it's the cheapest one. At only $30,000.
Which is bizarre to me.
That's 15 grand less than the Type R.
Yeah.
Right? It's such a cheap price for a car that has 200 horsepower and a top speed of 140 miles per hour.
That's not bad.
That's pretty close to what the Z's limited to, right?
Yeah, 155 is the Z.
Yeah. It's got a 0 to 60 of 6.1 seconds. which is a bit slower, but the point of the GR86, shockingly, is not about speed and power. I know, right?
A
That is insane for me to say. But even the original 86, the point of it wasn't speed and power. The point is fun, right? And to enforce that point, it is an FR, front engine rear wheel drive, something you don't see often anymore. Um, it has that inline four Boxer engine developed by Toyota and Subaru. Um, it's naturally aspirated. I mean, like, and the rest, it comes on automatic and a manual, right?
right.
The GR86 is the perfect manual car for anyone like getting into vehicles. Even the previous version of this, the GT86, that was a phenomenal car. This is that, but evolved, and that's not my words. Those are the words of Keiichi Tsuchiya, the Drift King.
The one and only.
Yeah, the one and only Drift King, Keiichi Tsuchiya. Again, this car just looks so beautiful.
It really does.
It's small but elegant. It's not fast, but its handling is second to none, in my opinion. Not to mention, it holds the legacy of the 86. And as we both have agreed on, the 86 is one of the best cars ever made.
Yeah.
The original 86. The new one, I think, carries that legacy very well. Right? It's around the same size as the original as well, right? It's got similar dimensions. It's inspired by that original look. And I feel like the GR86 is a bit of an anomaly. Because unlike all other sports cars these days, the GR86 isn't inspired off a sports car. It's inspired off a shitty 1980s Corolla. Well, I say shitty, but it's not.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Yeah, no, you get the point. It's a shitbox Corolla that this thing is based on, and there's something special about the GR86.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
There's just this magic. Even the interior's gray, right? It's got admirable trunk space for a small car. It's got 4 seats, even though it's technically only 2. The extra 2 in the back are for insurance. We all know that. Right, but I do think the GR86 is the perfect modern representation of my philosophy when it comes to automobiles.
It even has little dials on the inside and like switches and buttons.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it has a screen like on the dash, right? But also it like all the it's not like all the buttons aren't a touchscreen. You actually get physical buttons and dials to press, which is great. I love that about this car.
It's great.
Right? We've discussed it before, but I want the interior of my car to look like an airplane cockpit. I want all the buttons and dials and switches everywhere. Right? None of this touchscreen crap. Like, not to mention, like, I say that, but this car does come with modern amenities. It has Apple CarPlay. It has all this shit that people like these days. And you know what? That's not hindering it from being fun. Toyota figured out the key to the puzzle. This is it. The GR86, I cannot recommend this car higher than anything on this list. Not to mention, it's 30 grand. That's cheaper than anything we've mentioned.
It's personally my favorite as well.
Yeah.
I will say, on this list.
Like, yeah, absolutely. I love the GR86. They had their like Trueno edition, which was directly inspired off of Takami's 86 from Initial D. And now they have the Hakone edition, which is like a nice green, right, with a brown interior. That looks great, right?
That is beautiful. I'm looking up like pictures of the one you just mentioned.
Yeah, no, it looks fantastic. Now I could also mention the BRZ, but I just don't think the Subaru BRZ looks as nice as the GR86, right? I think this one has a nicer front end and bumper. At that point, it's literally just personal preference on looks, but I think the GR86 just looks nicer and has a better name.
Yeah.
Because the
I like the
BRZ
numbers.
just makes me think Brazil.
Yeah.
Which is fine for me to say, because I'm Brazilian, suckers. But, you know, I do think the GRA, not to mention the 8.6 itself, has this massive legacy, right? That it gets to continue. It has, and not to mention this car, Keiichi Tsuchiya approved. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's a lot
Can you
more
say that
than
about
most.
any other cars on this list? I didn't think so.
Nope. You really can't, honestly. Mostly because people only give a crap about what he cares about when it comes to 8.6s.
Yeah.
He's kind of the 8.6 master, if you really think about it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'll say it, I'm a Keiichi Tsuchiya fanboy. I found like those original like Plus P tapes that he used to show the original drift videos.
Mm-hmm.
Those are so cool. You can watch them on YouTube if you want. I mean, they're entirely in Japanese, but like it is fascinating to watch like the original drifting.
Damn, this car is beautiful.
I know, right? It's such a nice car. It's a shame that we can't have pop-ups anymore, but if we did, you know this would have it.
Yeah.
I love the GR86. I cannot sing its praises enough.
Oh my god.
You can even get it in special colors like track bread, which is B red.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Track
the color
bread?
for track bread. Yeah, as in it's bread on a track.
Oh, I thought you meant like food.
Toast. I know you're. Yeah, I know you got confused there. And Trueno blue. I've also seen this nice like baby blue with the car that I think looks really good with it. Personally, I'd go with track bread. I want track bread. And I'd eat bread inside of the track bread GR86.
Yeah.
Well, gluten-free bread, not like regular bread, because I'm not a monster. But that being said, I think that's all I really have to. I know it's not all I have to say about the GR86, but if I said everything I had to say, God, would we be here forever?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's my view on the GR86. Jojo, what's your final car?
My final car is also a Toyota GR series.
Well, people can tell we're just fans of Toyota here.
Yeah, for sure.
Because here's the thing: the last car you're gonna mention, I have the stats for right in front of me as well because I already wrote this one down.
Yeah.
Why don't you just say it?
The GR Supra.
Oh, you gotta love the Supra.
Yeah, it looks nice, right? The design is just, yeah.
People say it looks like a blobfish. I disagree. I think it's a really nice looking car.
It looks aggressive, right?
Right. Now, to be very clear, before we go any further with this, yes, it has a BMW engine. No, it is not a BMW. Guess what? Do you know how many car companies like work with each other to make a car? All of them. Literally all of them. This is not a new thing. I don't understand why the Supra itself got the reputation for just being a BMW. Probably from BMW drivers who were butthurt that we got something called the Supra again.
Yeah.
Look, listen, it's not that big of a deal. It is a Toyota. Deal with it. Jojo, you may continue.
That was okay. But yeah, it is a front engine, rear wheel drive. So an FR layout. It's a 2-seater, and it has an 8-speed automatic or another 6-speed manuals on this list. Yet again,
you know you got to get the manual one.
Mm-hmm.
But the automatic one is very good too, right?
Right.
Look, we don't shame automatic drivers here. We think we both think they're perfectly fine. We just prefer manuals.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a 3-liter 6-cylinder turboed inline 6, right?
Right.
So it's just phenomenal.
Yeah,
And with the top seat, oh, what was you gonna say? I'm sorry.
No, you're right. It is great. We'll keep going with the stats.
382 horsepower, right?
Right.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then this, I believe, is the second most expensive car on this list at $56,250.
It's like half the amount of a GTR.
Yeah.
Which actually it's less than half.
You could buy 2 Supras for the amount you could buy.
You could buy 2 Supras and like 8 Honda e-scooters with the price of for the price of a GTR.
That's how I'm just gonna refer to stuff now. IRL is how many Honda e-scooters can I buy with this?
How many Honda e-scooters is this worth? The GR86, 30 Honda e-scooters. That's currency now. Hi, sir. Would you like to buy this? Yes, I'll give you half of this Honda e-scooter.
Worth. How many Honda scooters would a Big Mac be? Sorry.
Ooh, no, that's a really good question. Maybe like a fourth of a Honda e-scooter.
Big Macs have gotten expensive.
Oh yeah, because McDonald's thinks there's some fucking gourmet restaurant. They're not. It's fast food. I'm specifically yelling at you because you fucking work there.
Yeah. I was gonna say I gotta dismiss some of the McDonald's hate because I do work there.
Yeah, but like I don't have to dismiss it.
Yeah, you can say what I want to say, right?
Exactly. Fuck you. I've seen Supersized Me. I know what happens. All right, but continue with the Toyota Supra.
It has an electronically limited top speed of 155 miles per hour yet again.
Yeah. Is that all the stats?
I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed. I don't think there's anything I missed, except this one also has a warranty option for some reason.
Why do you write down the warranty option? Why was
I just
that
screenshotted
important?
Google. I just screenshotted Google.
See, I actually pulled up a Google Doc. What do I have for GR Supra? Yeah, I have under the history section. It's a fucking Supra.
Yeah.
But the thing about the GR Supra, I really like it. I think it's a really awesome car. I love that it comes with a manual option, which I know the BMW one didn't. So it's not the same if you get the manual.
Right.
And honestly, this is the only real competitor to the GTR. It's the only thing that comes close to competing with its 382 horsepower. Granted, it's not as much as 600 horsepower, but let's be real. No one needs 600 horsepower.
Right. It's bragging rights at that point.
600 horsepower is what the social media influencers will tell you is just scratching the surface. No. Realistically, 200 horsepower is all you need to beat 90% of people. Right?
My grandfather has a car with 600 horsepower, and it is too much.
Yeah, it's too much. No one can handle 600 horsepower. You're not a NASCAR driver. You're not going to handle 600 horsepower like it's nothing. Right? That's not going to happen. The Toyota Supra is at least, like, not bullshit. And it's only 382. And that's all you realistically need.
Right.
Right? And that's at the high end of that needed list. And if we're gonna talk about this car, I feel like this is a great time to bring back the Nissan Z to this argument. Because this is another reason why I think the price for the Z is too high. The Z cannot compete with the Supra. It just can't. Right?
It has more horsepower, I will say.
True. It has more horsepower, but it's also a Supra. I mean, come on. Right? Like, you tune the Supra? The Z's not touching this thing. I think, reasonably, The Z should have been 38 grand. It should not be 40. Over 40.
No.
It should not be over 40. Because here's the problem that lays. Do you spend why would you spend 40 grand or like 42 grand on a car that's just a little bit better than a GR Corolla, which is 4 grand less, and you're getting all-wheel drive, but it's also not as good as something that's 8 grand more and is a Supra. Like, that's the point. Like, I think the Z is a fine car. It's just its price range does not put it in a good spot in comparison to its competitors.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like not to mention, like, the 8 sits exists. So at that point, it's like, why would I buy a Z for 42 grand when I could spend 30 on an 8 sits that'll get me just the same amount, if not more fun out of that car.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, I've seen online it's not about driving a fast car slow, it's about driving a slow car fast.
Exactly. Which, you know, I don't think helps the argument for the Toyota Supra. But
Right.
if you're looking for a drag car, the Supra's like the best choice.
Mm-hmm.
For like a lower price.
Right.
Look, let's be real. The GTR, way too high of a price for that thing.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I know we've glazed the crap out of that car, but I think
It's a bit high.
$121,000 for a GTR is too much.
75 max.
Well, let's be real.
If that.
Why would I buy that when I could buy a Supra for less than half that?
Why would
And
you buy
still-
that when you can buy like Honda e-scooters, right?
Why would I buy a GTR when I could buy 2 Supras and 8 e-scooters for that amount of money?
Exactly.
You know, it's wild, man. Nissan should have thought of that. They should have thought.
Yeah, you need to
what
take
about
the
the
e-scooters
people?
into account.
Yeah, they did not take the e-scooters, and that's what screwed them, I think.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you want to say about the Supra?
I loved it in Forza Horizon 5, I will say that.
I really like the Supra. The Supra's a really fun car in Horizon 5. Wait,
Oh,
I didn't
for
know
sure.
I didn't know you got Horizon 5.
I had it forever ago on my Xbox. I haven't played it any time recently.
Oh man, we should do that on a stream or something. That'd be
I
like
need
the
to buy it for
perfect.
Steam.
But like realistically, that'd be the perfect game for us to play on stream,
Yeah,
right?
it would be.
That is the perfect option.
Dude, I had an 8086 and everything on my old Forza Horizon 5, but I don't know where my Xbox is.
I have 2 8.6s.
Nice.
Yeah, you can get them pretty easily now. We're not talking about Forza. We're talking about cars. We can game later.
Yeah.
All right. What's what time is it? We've been recording for an hour 10. I think we have time for one more.
Yeah, you do your last car. I'm interested to
All
see
right.
what it is.
So the last car I wanted to bring up is something that I normally look over, and is shockingly the cheapest one on this list.
Oh, shit.
It's cheaper than the 8.6, but not by a lot. For $29,000, you can get yourself the new Mazda MX-5 or the Miata.
Hell yeah.
Honestly,
Miata is always the answer.
they did an update from the 2016 one, and honestly, it looks really good. I really like it.
Admittedly, I haven't looked too much into it.
Look it up quickly. The 2025 Mazda Miata. It looks really good.
That does not look bad at all.
Right?
Kind of reminds me of an S2K. Honestly.
I know, right? It really does. Honda, please bring back the S2K. But the new
As long as
Miata
it's
is
not
on-
electric.
True. Honda doesn't do much. They are bringing back the Prelude, and that's going to be a hybrid. And I'm fine
Yeah.
with that because it actually looks pretty good. I don't mind hybrids that much. I think the Prelude's a perfectly fine car, but the new Miata, it's 29 grand, so it's $1,000 less than a GR86, but it doesn't have that 200 horsepower. It's got 181. It is smaller though, and it has a top speed of 139 miles per hour, which
That's not bad
you
at
know
all.
in comparison to GR86, that's about on par, right?
Hmm.
So like you could go either way. If you just don't want a Toyota and you want something else, the Miata's a great option as well, right?
Yeah.
It gets from 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds. So it's actually a bit faster than the GR86, but it doesn't have as much torque. And I didn't put the torque stat, but I probably should have. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have as much torque as the GR86. These are the two perfect cars to compare, I think. Because both are designed under the same philosophy. You don't need a lot of power to have fun.
Right.
Obviously, this car is also an FR, and it has an inline 4 NA. So these are like this. The new Miata and the GR86 are two cars to perfectly match up against each other. I do think the GR86 is faster than this thing, but this one, I think it comes with it is a convertible, right? That's the other bonus to this thing. I think it looks really good. I think people should consider buying it if they don't want to spend that extra 1,000. If they want to spend that extra 1,000 on a Honda e-scooter, I get it.
Yeah.
Right?
Obviously.
Obviously, the reason you didn't buy a GR86 and bought a Miata instead is because you wanted to use that extra grand on a Honda e-scooter.
That's the acceptable reason.
Yeah, I defend that reasoning. That's pretty good. But the Miata just always has a history of just being this really fun car that people really like. I love this. I think the new one looks amazing.
Nothing will compare to the NA, obviously, but
oh no, the original Miata will always be iconic. It's the pill car.
Yeah, the hairdresser car, even.
I do think that the Miata has always just had a history of being good. I've never seen a Miata I didn't like. Right? It's same with the 8-sits, honestly, but then again, the 8-sits has only had 3 iterations. Whereas the Miata has had a couple over what?
5 maybe.
40 years it's been around. So 5, and that's pretty good.
Oh my God, you're right. 40 years, Jesus.
40 years and 40 years of 8-sits.
Yeah.
The Supra's just older.
Yeah, Supra was 70s, wasn't it?
For the first one. It used to be called the Celica Supra. Right?
That was 82 to 83, I think.
That was the Mark. No,
that was the Mark II.
The original Supra, the Celica Supra, was the late 70s.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the Supra has the oldest heritage. No, it's the Z. The Z has the oldest heritage.
Yeah, the Z has the beat.
Wait, how old is the Corolla?
That's a good question. Maybe
because technically, both the GR Corolla and the 8-sits both qualify under that category. Because the original 8-sits was a Corolla.
November 1966, and arrived in the States in 68.
So when was the original Z? And then again,
69.
Even the original GTR. Oh, wow.
So the Corolla's older by a year and some change for the U.S. market. No. Yeah, just a year in the U.S. market.
Yeah. I mean, so a lot of these cars have old heritages, and I'd argue the 8-sits has that old heritage too, because it was a spawn of the Corolla line.
Yeah.
I mean, they're directly based off a Toyota Corolla, so you know.
And the first GTR was also 1969, so.
True. All right, yeah. Right, I forgot it came out in 69.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, God, you gotta love that Miata though. It looks so clean.
For sure.
All right, but I think we've talked about all these cars. We've talked about all these cars, right?
Right.
Now, out of all of them, which one would you want to own? You can only have one.
The Honda e-scooter.
All right, let's say the Honda. Yeah, absolutely, right?
That goes without saying, though.
yeah, obviously the Honda e-scooter is above all these, but like number two, like let's just say all these come with a Honda e-scooter.
Ooh, that
I'm pretty
sweetens
sure
the deal a lot.
I'm pretty sure the Civic Type R had a promotional thing where it did come with the Moto Compacto. So like, because I know it was designed for that, to be like an accessory for it. So but like, if you could have any of these cars, which one would you want? You can only have one.
Ooh, probably the GR 86, honestly, because
Yeah,
I don't know, I just love that car.
honestly, yeah. Like, I'll be real with the audience here. The GR86 is the car I've been considering getting. This, like, not only is it just because I'm a massive fan of the original 86, I'm a fan of Keiichi Tsuchiya, and I'm especially a fan of Initial D, right?
Right.
But like the 86, just it fits my philosophy. It is, I do think it's the best car out of all the ones we mentioned. Not only in terms of like pricing, but in terms of like how much fun you're really gonna have with it.
Yeah, it's priced phenomenally. You know, you got those buttons, you got those knobs in the interior.
No.
I think it's just worth it.
This car is like a chef's kiss. Well, I think that settles it. The GR86 is the best modern JDM car you can get. Well, not JDM, but like
Yeah.
Japanese car you can get. The GR86 is the best bang for your buck.
Second being the Honda e-scooter.
Obviously, but let's honestly, my whole plan, like I already have planned out what I want to do with the GR86, which if I do end up getting it, I will make a Speed and Power special episode where I review the car while I'm in it, right? Because I plan on having this thing being my daily driver, but I also want to get a Honda e-scooter with it and just have it sitting in the trunk.
As you should.
Yeah. You know what would be great? If I do get the GR86, I could drive down and we can do a live episode of Speed and Power where we're in like the same room.
Right.
And like I'm just like we're just sitting there and on the table we're just like, welcome to this episode of Speed and Power. Proceeds to like mafia style pull out the briefcased Honda e-scooter, slides it on the table.
Like this whole bit where, you know, you're sitting on one end of the table, I'm sitting on the other. The light is dim. Did you bring the goods? And you just pull out the Honda e-scooter, slam it on the table.
It's like, did you bring the goods? You pull out another Honda e-scooter. that would honestly, that would be brilliant. I would love that.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So now
I
that
know
we've
what I'm saving
established-
up for.
Oh yeah, dude, it's like honestly, because your friggin' Camaro's always broken, just keep that in the trunk. It's like technically it still works.
Yeah.
You know that scene in like the fucking, oh wait, you haven't seen Batman movies. I forgot.
I haven't. No.
There was the scene in The Dark Knight where like the Batmobile is like stuck in like this tunnel and Batman's like, shit, alright, presses a button, the front of the end just turns into like a motorcycle and then it just busts out and the car explodes. I'm imagining that, but instead of like this high-tech motorcycle, he pulls out in the Honda e-scooter.
I would pay to see that. You know, if that came out in the theaters today, I would be front row.
Ooh, hear me out. Instead of Batman, it's a superhero who drives a Honda K-truck.
Yes.
And the e-scooter explodes out of the K-truck when the K-truck breaks down.
I would love that so much.
Right, and in the back of the K-truck, there's a PLP-50, just in case. we should just have an episode talking about weird cars. I feel like that'd be very interesting.
It would be.
But as it may be, it is sadly that time. Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode of Speed and Power. If you're interested in supporting the show, please follow us on Spotify and on YouTube, where we do have visuals for everything we talk about.
Like that text message I got.
Yes, absolutely. You get to
that.
see wishing you a sunny day filled with happiness. If you want to see that, please subscribe to me, the Curator, on YouTube. That is where all Speed and Power episodes are, in fact, uploaded. And on Spotify, we would also appreciate the support. It really helps us to make this show. We love making Speed and Power.
Mm-hmm.
It is honestly one of my favorite parts of the week to come together and just talk about these cars. And if you want to support us in another way, you could check out our abridging channels. With my abridging channel that I co-own with my partner Echelon, we make work in progress entertainment happen, where we have fun shows like Full Metal Alchemist Abridged and Neon Genesis Evangelion Abridged.
And if you want to support me, I have a channel named Isekai Entertainment, where I am working on some secret projects that I'm not going to go too much into, but it is also abridging. So if you like work in progress, I'm pretty sure you would like Isekai Entertainment.
Yeah, and even if you don't support that, supporting this channel also supports those channels, because I am a lead editor of Work in Progress Entertainment, and having the support from this for something that, in all honesty, doesn't take as much effort as something as making an entire parody does.
Right.
Both me and JoJo know this very well to be true.
Yeah.
Supporting us in any way would be super helpful. Thank you for joining the show, and we will see you next time.
Bye.